When you think of the word legacy, one name that punches through the noise and commands attention is that of Brian May. A singular cornerstone of music history, Brian May stands not just as the legendary guitarist of Queen, but as a towering figure of innovation and passion in multiple worlds. We're not just telling you about a musician, we're unraveling the tapestry of a man who defies convention with every step, a man recently knighted by King Charles III for his profound services to music and charity, a true Renaissance man of our times. Picture this, a young boy in Hampton Hill, England, born on July 19, 1947, honing his dreams in a small household, an aspiring genius, driven by the harmonious chords of music and the rigid logic of science. His destiny? A tumultuous journey that traverses the crescendos of rock music, the uncharted reaches of astrophysics, and the serene fields of animal rights activism. The enigma that is Brian May beckons. How does one soul harbor such breadth and depth? Now that is a story worth delving into. Let's begin by painting the picture of Brian's early soundscape, his creation of the iconic Red Special guitar. Picture this, a teenager alongside his father embarking on what seemed an impossible mission, a challenge born out of necessity. The young iconoclast couldn't afford a high-quality electric guitar. So, did he give up? Absolutely not. The duo set out on an odyssey of craftsmanship in 1963 that spanned 2 long years. They used anything they could find, an old oak table, a fireplace mantle, mother-of-pearl buttons from a discarded jewelry box. The result? A masterpiece, the Red Special, a beast of an instrument that defies all odds and conventions. The Red Special was a prophetic tool in May's hands, imbuing Queen's eventual sound with a voice like no other. It wasn't just an instrument, it was the physical embodiment of Brian's spirit, one of resilience and esoteric brilliance. This handmade work of art, forged from the relics of domesticity, became the bedrock of hits like Bohemian Rhapsody, a sonic odyssey in its own right. The tale of the Red Special is a testament to ingenious resolve, a defining feature in the landscape of Brian May's technical genius. As we leave the forge of the Red Special behind, we step into the years of soaring glory and despair with Queen, the band that would redefine the very nature of rock. Queen rose like a phoenix from the ashes of past musical endeavors, originally birthed from the raw talent of Smile, a band formed by Brian, drummer Roger Taylor, and others during their university days. But their ascent to greatness wasn't paved with gold, it was a path fraught with hardship, often teetering on the brink of collapse. Not until Freddie Mercury, with his unparalleled charisma, theatrical bravado, and the sheer force of his voice, joined the fold did everything begin to click. This was the missing piece of the puzzle, the catalyst that transformed the raw material of Queen into the legendary entity known across the globe. Their meteoric atmosphere might have suggested infinite possibilities, but make no mistake, the road was rough and raw. They poured their very essence into their craft, often living in dire conditions, sharing meals and living spaces, their relentless pursuit of music driving them through each day like surgeons intricately committing melody with every second. They confronted rejection repeatedly at the hands of major record labels, yet their resolve was invincible. It was perseverance that finally brought them to their breakthrough, a sound unlike any the world had heard, heralded in tracks like Killer Queen from their third album, Sheer Heart Attack. But it was A Night at the Opera and the magnum opus within it, Bohemian Rhapsody, that catapulted them into immortal fame. This piece of exquisite chaos, an alchemy of opera and rock, captured the monumental artistry of Mercury, May, and the band, a symphony of triumphant rebellion against the ordinary. The world watched and listened, awestruck, and it was this that turned the tide of Queen's fortune. This glittering journey of ascent was not without its moments of a darker hue. Behind the illustrious shows and thriving records lay moments of personal strife and inner battles. Brian May, a man whose heart beat for music and the stars, found himself torn between the alluring glamour of rock and the serene whispers of science. As he climbed the ladder of fame, he faced profound sadness. The deaths of his father and closest friend and frontman, Freddie Mercury, were shattering blows that reverberated through his soul. Depression tightened its vicious grip, threatening to silence the melodies within him. But Brian's resilience couldn't be vanquished. He returned to his study of the cosmos, successfully reclaiming his passion for astrophysics, even completing his doctorate, a monumental feat accomplished in 2007, decades after initially putting it on hold for his staggering musical career. Here lies a man who refused to be securely tethered to just one star in the galaxy of pursuits, forever seeking new exploration in both sound and space. Brian May's legacy as an animal rights activist? Just another facet of his complex and profound life story. His establishment of the Save Me Trust in 2010 revealed a heartfelt dedication to the humane treatment of wildlife and fierce advocacy against fox hunting and badger culling. These weren't just causes, they were movements of moral fortitude and compassion, led by a man who understood that true leadership echoes in all domains. In each of these facets, we witness the echoes of a man who is more than a musician, more than an academic, and more than an advocate. He is a phenomenon, not simply because of the fields he inhabits, but because of the depth and sincerity of his engagement in every passion he pursues. So how did a boy from Hampton Hill become a knight, a musical icon, a scientist, and an activist? It's the mysterious alchemy of relentless passion and transcendent artistry. Stay tuned as we delve beyond the echoing stadiums and the glittering stars into the soul of Brian May, where wonder and greatness intertwine. As the vibrant energy of the 70s pulsated through the veins of youth worldwide, Queen was a band embracing the very essence of defiance. They were a revolution of sound and spirit, paying homage to the past while simultaneously blasting it apart with sheer audacity. Imagine the chaos and euphoria of a band that fed off the flamboyance of Mercury's theatricality, the depths of May's intricate harmonics, Taylor's heart-pounding rhythm, and Deacon's pitch-perfect bass lines. This was a gathering of minds electrified by the energy of innovation and rebellion, both oral and cultural. Brian May wasn't simply following a thread, he was weaving the tapestry itself, playing with a style that infused raw emotion with technical genius. Each note from the Red Special was a narrative of defiance, echoing across stadiums worldwide and shaping the walls of rock music history. But what were the steps that defined the stairway to this glory? Rejection after rejection tested their resolve, but Queen was made of sterner stuff, fighting tooth and nail to attain a foothold in the music world. Labels that had initially shrugged them off were soon scrambling back, desperate to decipher the chords of a band that defied comprehension and gravitated toward innovation with ferocity. They were more than a band, they were an idea whose time had come. This burgeoning flame found further fuel with the release of A Night at the Opera, the record paying homage to the band's undying rebellious spirit. Freddie Mercury had penned a masterpiece, and Brian May, along with Roger Taylor and John Deacon, breathed life into it. Bohemian Rhapsody was an epiphanic explosion, forever altering the topography of rock. It was a symphony of high drama and deep introspection, navigating through myriad emotions with lyrical genius and musical dexterity. A cultural monolith, it won hearts and seldom left a dry eye in the house. Yet, making music of such caliber came at a staggering cost. The personal stakes were high. The pressure on Brian, Freddie, Roger, and John was immense, each juggling a high-wire act between explosive creativity and personal battles. Imagine being at the heart of a storm, where the music was the only calm. In the midst of fame's masquerade, the weight of expectation and the relentless scrutiny bore down on them. They faced tension that could tear the fabric of a lesser band, and yet, miraculously, Queen thrived. For Brian May, balancing the demands of his soaring career and the intricate pursuit of scientific discovery became increasingly challenging. Any opportunity to examine the cosmos was often jarred by the demands of a musical journey that required constant performance and creation. It was a dichotomy he wrestled with, a cosmos of discovery beckoning on one side and the profound harmonies of humanity on the other. This internal battle, however, never detracted from his brilliance. Instead, it reinforced his resolve to conquer both realms. Queen's towering status on the stage became a beacon of hope and unity, but the shadow of personal loss soon loomed large. The 90s brought heartbreak and a test of strength that rocked the band to its core. Brian faced the somber and shattering losses of his dear father, and, soon after, his colleague and friend Freddie Mercury. These losses were not just emotional trials, they were cataclysms that temporarily muted his world. The grief was palpable, yet the compelling drive to express, to create music that resonated with his soul's deepest cries, lit the way back from agony. There was no escaping the pull of the stars. The universe called him back softly but insistently. It was astrophysics that again provided a semblance of peace amidst chaos. prompting Brian to complete his PhD after his career with Queen began unfolding. Working in harmony with celestial mechanics, his doctoral thesis painting pictures of cosmic dust clouds showed a remarkable pursuit intertwining science and passion, a testament to his dedication to learning, never satisfied with stasis. Yet his scientific undertakings did not quell his social conscience. In 2010, in a new era of activism shaped by personal conviction, he embarked on a mission to safeguard the planet's wildlife. As a founder of Save Me Trust, Brian became a fervent advocate for those who couldn't voice their plight, advocating for the humane treatment of foxes and badgers in their natural habitat. His activism was a powerful statement, a call to action against cruelty and apathy, reflecting his belief that every voice, no matter how small, deserved to be heard and protected. Brian May's advocacy, like his music, pierced the boundaries of silence, resonating in spaces often untouched by celebrity influence. His efforts were polarizing at times, challenging societal norms and engaging in political discourse seldom touched by those under the celebrity spotlight. The controversy never daunted him. Instead, it inspired him to fight harder, transforming him from rock legend to a beacon of moral courage. So, how do you take it all in, this constellation of brilliance, intellect, and heart? Brian May is not simply a name etched into the annals of music history. He is much more, a visionary whose narrative transcends mere musical masterpiece to encompass universal exploration, scientific pursuit, and a profound commitment to enhancing the world we inhabit. It's an extraordinary tale of so much more than a musician, or an academic, or an activist. It's the story of a boy from Hampton Hill who dared to dream beyond the narrow horizon prescribed by any given path and instead charted his own. What are your thoughts on the journey of this remarkable individual? Leave a comment and let us know your reflections. Don't just stop there. Embrace the stories yet to be uncovered by hitting like and subscribing as we journey together into the lives of other inspiring figures who changed our world. Stay with us, because the next chapter in Extraordinary Stories is just around the corner. In the swirling kaleidoscope of emotion and intellect, Brian May stands as a beacon of endless curiosity and dedication. As we plunge deeper into this incredible journey, we must acknowledge the intricate tapestry of his life where the strings of creativity, science, and compassion are woven into an extraordinary narrative. The 1980s were an era that demanded evolution, and Queen was an emblematic force in the soundscape of the time. The band, riding the crest of success, navigated the complex waters of fame and creative exhaustion. Each member, with their unique flair, contributed to a sound both familiar and revolutionary. Brian May, the guitarist whose riffs had become anthems in their own right, was at the heart of this artistic machine, lending his voice and vision to the ever-evolving symphony that was Queen. This period wasn't just about crafting melodies, it was about reinventing and reimagining the very essence of music. Despite the electrifying aura they projected, beneath the flamboyant surface was a storm brewing, an internal battle between personal aspirations and collective harmony. The creative bonds were tested, and Brian often found solace in the quiet realms of the cosmos, drawing inspiration from the universe that paralleled the chaotic energy of his rock star life. Here was a man who, in between massive world tours and recording sessions, was piecing together the mysteries of the stars, finding a language unspoken yet deeply resonant with human consciousness. As the band plowed through the decades, crossing boundaries and breaking barriers, the specter of change loomed large. The distinction between the public persona and personal identity blurred, leading to a period where introspection was not just desired but crucial for survival. Brian, grappling with the seismic shifts in his life, from the highs of musical triumphs to the devastating lows of personal loss, turned once again to science, bridging the temporal gap between rock concerts and cosmic contemplation. It was through this dual exploration that he forged a path of resilience and reinvention. Amidst this journey, Queen's performance at Live Aid in 1985 emerged as a significant epic. The legendary set wasn't merely a musical feast, but an emblem of unity and collective spirit. Brian, with his red special guitar, delivered riffs that were both ethereal and grounding, reflecting a world where music could indeed change hearts, if not the world itself. Yet, beneath the unifying chords and thunderous applause, there lay whispers of a changing tide, whispers that would soon turn into roars with the devastating news of Freddie Mercury's illness. The loss of Freddie. In 1991, followed closely by the passing of Brian's father, marked a profound period of grief and reflection. It was a time when silence sang a louder song than any riff could ever convey. But from the shadows of this despair, Brian May began piecing together a different harmony, one that resonated with personal catharsis and broader humanitarian goals. The echoes of his activism were felt far beyond the stages below stadium lights, turning towards animal rights, a cause deeply intertwined with his personal ethos. His foundation of the Save Me Trust in 2010 was more than an endeavor. It was a battleground for conscience over complacency. In a world where the voiceless often go unheard, Brian's advocacy for wildlife protection resonated, marking him as a voice of moral clarity in a cacophonous world. The stark reality of fox hunts and badger culling saw Brian at the forefront of public discourse, his staunch opposition a beacon for change that drew both praise and ire in equal measure. To him, standing on the right side of history was paramount, the weight of criticism a small price for advocating greater compassion in the world. Shaping his legacy beyond the spotlight, Brian's journey in academia witnessed an impressive resurgence. The completion of his PhD represented a triumph of intellectual perseverance, an endeavor where celestial phenomena mirrored life's uncharted courses. His scientific inclination, unabated by his fame, added yet another layer to his multifaceted persona. This was a man who saw no contradiction in being both an academic and a rock icon. Instead, he embraced the duality as a catalyst for creativity and innovation. The nuances of his life story attest to a timeless truth: the synthesis of art, science, and advocacy. Brian May's life is a testament to the transformative power of passion, a reminder that the human condition, with all its contradictions and challenges, holds immense potential for creation and compassion. His ability to navigate between these worlds speaks to a resilience unmatched, a journey that transcends the conventional and challenges the notion of what it means to truly live greatly. As we examine the contours of this remarkable journey, what stands undoubtedly clear is that Brian May is more than an indelible mark on the music industry. He is an architect of dreams, of cosmic inquiries, and of empathetic action. His legacy, a symphony of diverse endeavors, tells a story not just of a rock legend, but of a man dedicated to exploring every facet of existence with courage and grace. What thoughts does this stirring tale of intellect, creativity, and activism awaken in you? Share your reflections about this extraordinary voyage in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe as we prepare to uncover even more remarkable narratives in the stories that shape and transform our world. Stay with us as we continue this vivid exploration of human potential and reach, for the next chapter unfolds just beyond the horizon. Brian May's journey is far from a linear narrative. It winds with the complexities and nuances of a life distinctly lived at the crossroads of art and intellect. His ability to traverse these interconnected realms highlights a profound understanding of the intricate dance between curiosity and creativity. The breadth of his pursuits, from the thundering echoes of the stage to the silent, steady contemplation of the universe, showcases a life dedicated to the unending pursuit of knowledge and expression. At the core of Brian's life is an unyielding commitment to using his platform for more than personal gain, a determination seen vividly through his earthly efforts to foster a better world for both human and non-human creatures. His steadfast dedication to animal welfare showcases a deeply empathetic nature that seeks fairness and compassion, embodying a principle that transcends the often myopic view of celebrity responsibility. Brian continually employs his influence to voice those rare and often neglected causes, driven by an unwavering sense of justice. In the midst of Queen's towering successes and formidable creative dynamics, Brian always reserved a slice of his spirit for the quieter pursuits: the tender art of 3D photography, the meticulous crafting of sounds not yet heard, the carving of scientific theories into accessible literature. In these moments, away from the clamorous arenas and towering expectations, Brian constructs a sanctuary for his thoughts, a canvas where scientific marvel and artistic inspiration meld seamlessly, beckoning a world eager for the synthesis of aesthetics and inquiry. As we navigate through the entrancing story of Brian May, what becomes inescapably clear is the inextricable bond between his musical genius and his worldly wisdom. It reveals a distinct vision of an individual who is never content to rest on laurels, tirelessly striving forward in an intoxicating pursuit of life's deeper meanings. His musical compositions, renowned for their intricacy and innovation, are born not just from a love of rhythm, but from a comprehensive understanding of the cosmic laws and their imaginative application to the melodies that have inspired generations. One might truly appreciate Brian's journey not merely as a personal odyssey, but as a reflection of a life attuned to the world. Through his advocacy, Brian champions the idea that we must constantly confront societal failures and strive collectively for improvement. Whether through his vociferous stand against animal cruelty or his poignant exploration of human rights and inequality, Brian articulates a conscience unbowed by detractors or doubt. His legacy and activism is woven with threads of tenacity and courage, resonating with a defiant hope that echoes across the annals of public service. And yet, even with all these accomplishments, perhaps the most inspiring aspect of Brian May's life is his resolute authenticity, a beacon for those seeking to harmonize disparate interests into a cohesive whole. His journey compels us to question the arbitrary boundaries we often impose upon ourselves, inviting us to consider a life lived in totality rather than in fragments. His multifaceted endeavors illustrate a spirit unbound by convention, eternally open to possibility and adventure, both on Earth and beyond. As we unfurl the tapestry of Brian's accomplishments, we encounter a narrative that elevates not only the legacy of a musical icon, but also the profound possibilities inherent within each human spirit. He embodies the tenet that greatness derives not merely from one's talent, but from an unyielding desire to make the world a more enlightened, compassionate place. His unwavering pursuit of truth and beauty in both art and science stands as a guiding star, illuminating the path for those who dare to follow in his footsteps. So, as we conclude this chapter of Brian May's life, we invite you to reflect on the endless potential within yourself, inspired by the relentless pursuit of passion and purpose exemplified by Brian. What do you dream of achieving when the barriers of expectation are dismantled? What transformations are you compelled to undertake in the spirit of innovation and empathy? Brian's story challenges us to pursue our aspirations with vigor and grace, to tread paths yet uncharted in our personal quest for achievement and altruism. Join us in celebrating Brian May's extraordinary journey and legacy, a testament to the unbounded interplay of creativity and intellect. With each step taken in the shadow of such an illustrious path, may we all find the courage to forge our own legacies, breathing life into the dreams that define and inspire each fleeting moment of existence. Thank you for joining us in exploring this incredible journey. If you've been inspired by Brian's story, please share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear how tales of resilience and creativity have impacted you. Don't forget to like and subscribe as we continue to delve into more remarkable stories that shape our world. Stay tuned for the next chapter of our exploration into the boundless potential of human endeavor.